So welcome back. I hope you've been enjoying the chapter summaries. We're now at chapter 7, and the title is When Structures Become the Bottleneck. And in this chapter, I presented that AI in itself isn't generally the reason for poor ROI or not creating enterprise value, but it's actually because of legacy structures, old processes, and these aren't evolving as quickly as the technology's capabilities are. And we've already started to see cracks emerge, generally because of hierarchies that were designed in the 80s or data that's sitting in silo, and of course, accountability challenges that we're seeing in the various functions. And when issues like this sit at the company's foundation, they're always going to restrict the business's ability to harness AI's potential. And in this chapter, I invited Anthony Shields, the Global People Operations Director at Baker McKinsey, to contribute. And he described a scenario that I thought was fascinating. He said, in my previous role, a chief executive made what seemed like a very simple request. But with legacy IT, finance, and HR systems, we couldn't actually give him an accurate and aligned answer to his simple question. The reason for this was the data sat in silos, teams moved at different speeds, and they also had different priorities, so no one saw the whole picture, making alignment nearly impossible. And the issue that Anthony explained is actually reoccurring in almost all companies. It's rarely a data issue, often not to do with a lack of skilled employees, but actually fragmentation, where functions operate on their own, they have different metrics and timelines aren't aligned. So of course, decisions aren't taken with common alignment. And then you add AI into the mix of this, and of course, that's just going to accelerate the misalignment that exists. The other contributor to this chapter was Hemerson Paes, a senior global network catalyst at Roche. And he said something also very interesting. He said, creating visibility across functions prevents bottlenecks before they can form. When everybody sees the same reality, coordination is natural. Now, unfortunately, this level of coordination is uncommon. And many leaders believe that visibility is just creating better dashboards. But as Hemerson pointed out, it's actually about shared ownership and understanding. Because when people see the various constraints, the risks, the trade-offs, people can actually start working collaboratively and then find the common solution. So this chapter is all about exploring the various ways leaders can realign ways of working so that their decisions can travel with clarity, and AI can then actually accelerate performance instead of exposing the bottlenecks and misalignments that exist in many companies. So I hope this chapter summary gives you some ideas to consider for your own business. And next week, chapter 8 explores creating systemic learning capability. So thanks again for listening, and see you next week.